Good morning, students. We have completed our first chapter. We studied about the definitions of economics, the central problems of an economy, different economic systems, production possibility curve, difference between microeconomics and macroeconomics, positive economics and normative economics, etc. Today, we are going to enter our second chapter, the theory of consumer behavior. Who is a consumer? What do you mean by consumption? The act of using of goods and services to satisfy wants is called consumption. The act of using goods and services for what purpose? To satisfy our wants is called consumption. The one who consumes things is known as, or one who consumes things is called a consumer. In this aspect, every households are known as consumers because every households purchase several items, several things for satisfying their wants. So every households is known as a consumer. But in economics, consumer means one who takes decision about buying goods and services for satisfaction of wants. Every one who takes decision about buying goods and services for satisfaction of wants is known as a consumer. Generally, such decisions are taken by the members of a family. So, a family unit is called a household. Important decisions in our family are taken by all members in a family. So, a family unit is called households in economics. All the people who lives under one roof is called households. So, we can define consumer. The consumer is one who take decision about what to buy for satisfaction of wants, both as an individual and as a member of household. Those who take, consumer is the one who take decision about what to buy for satisfaction of wants, both as an individual and as a member of household. അപ്പോൾ കൺസ്യൂമർ എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞാൽ ആരാണോ നമ്മുടെ ആഗ്രഹങ്ങൾ സാധിക്കാൻ വേണ്ടി സാധനങ്ങൾ അതുപോലെ സേവനങ്ങളും വാങ്ങുന്നവരെയാണ് കൺസ്യൂമർ എന്ന് പറയുന്നത്. ആ കൺസ്യൂമർ ഇൻഡിവിജ്വലായിട്ട് നമുക്ക് എടുക്കാം കൺസ്യൂമറെ, അതുപോലെ തന്നെ എ മെമ്പർ ഓഫ് ഫാമിലി. പ്രധാനപ്പെട്ട എല്ലാ ഡിസിഷൻസും ഒരു ഫാമിലിയിൽ എടുക്കുന്നത് എല്ലാവരും കൂടി ആലോചിച്ചതിന് ശേഷമാണ്. അതുകൊണ്ട് കൺസ്യൂമർ ഈസ് എ മെമ്പർ, ഈസ് എ മാൻ who take decisions about what to buy for satisfaction of wants, both as an individual or a member of household. Then another term we usually used in economics is a rational consumer. There are several assumptions that a consumer is rational. In different theories we use the assumption that a consumer is rational. What do you mean by a rational consumer? We have already studied in our scarcity definition that our resources are limited and human wants are unlimited. So we make a choice. We compel to use our resources economically, economizing resources. So We can define a rational consumer, those who seeks to maximize utility or satisfaction in spending his income is called a rational consumer. So a rational consumer is one who who seeks to maximize his utility or satisfaction by spending his limited income. He is known as a rational consumer. The theory of consumer behavior and demand എന്ന ചാപ്റ്ററിൽ മെയിനായിട്ട് നമ്മൾ ഇതുവരെ ഡിസ്കസ് ചെയ്തത് ആരാണ് കൺസ്യൂമർ, എന്താണ് കൺസംഷൻ, പിന്നെ ഹൗസ് ഹോൾഡ് എന്താണ്, റാഷണൽ കൺസ്യൂമർ എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞാൽ എന്താണ്, ഈ കാര്യങ്ങൾ നമ്മളിപ്പോൾ ഡിസ്കസ് ചെയ്തു. ഇനി നമുക്ക് കൺസ്യൂമർ ബിഹേവിയർ, എന്തിനെയാണ് കൺസ്യൂമർ ബിഹേവിയർ എന്ന് പറയുന്നത്? A consumer takes decision on the basis of his preferences, his income and the prices prevailing in the market. How a consumer takes decision? He takes decision on the basis of his preferences. Each consumer has his own preferences, his own taste. These preferences and taste depends upon his income and prices prevailing in the market. Income of the consumer and prices prevailing in the market for particular products. Accordingly, the economists study two aspects of consumer behavior. There are mainly two aspects in consumer behavior. First, on what basis a rational consumer allocates the limited income between different goods and services he desired. We know that a consumer has several wants to satisfy. So, first a rational consumer allocates his income between different goods and services in order to attain maximum satisfaction. The consumer അവൻ്റെ ലിമിറ്റഡ് ഇൻകം വിവിധ ആവശ്യങ്ങൾക്ക് വേണ്ടി, വിവിധ സാധനങ്ങൾ വാങ്ങാൻ വേണ്ടി അലോക്കേറ്റ് ചെയ്യുന്നു. ടെക്നിക്കലി ഇറ്റ് ഈസ് കോൾഡ് കൺസ്യൂമേഴ്സ് ഈക്വിലിബ്രിയം. ഇതിനെ വിളിക്കുന്ന എക്കണോമിക്സിൽ ഇതിനെ വിളിക്കുന്ന പേരാണ് കൺസ്യൂമേഴ്സ് ഈക്വിലിബ്രിയം. കൺസ്യൂമർ മാക്സിമം സാറ്റിസ്ഫാക്ഷൻ കിട്ടാൻ വേണ്ടി ഇൻകം അലോക്കേറ്റ് ചെയ്യുന്നതിന് പറയുന്ന പേരാണ് കൺസ്യൂമേഴ്സ് ഈക്വിലിബ്രിയം. സെക്കൻഡ് ആസ്പെക്ട് ഈസ് ദാറ്റ് what is the reaction of consumer to change in price of good or services he intends to buy. The second aspect studies about what is the reaction of a consumer to change in price of goods or services. The price of goods and services are changing, and in the second aspect we studies about how a particular consumer reacts to this change in price of goods and services. How does he usually react? Does he buy more or does he buy less? The generalization of behavior in this respect is called law of demand, theory of demand. How a consumer reacts when there occur a change in price of the commodity, or the reaction of the consumer when the price changes. The two aspects are studied under three analyses. There are mainly three analyses to study these two aspects. First one is marginal utility analysis of Alfred Marshall. Alfred Marshall gives the marginal utility approach. Then the second analysis is known as indifference curve analysis. This analysis is given by J.R. Hicks. And the third analysis is revealed preference theory of Paul Samuelson. P.A. Samuelson, revealed preference theory. In this chapter, we studied about the marginal utility analysis given by Alfred Marshall. We know that Alfred Marshall is known as the father of microeconomics. The marginal utility analysis given by Alfred Marshall is otherwise known as the cardinal approach to utility. Cardinal utility approach. Then the indifference curve analysis is known as ordinal utility approach. Another important term used in the theory of consumer behavior is consumption bundle. The consumer buys several goods and services for satisfying his wants, but his income is limited. So he makes a choice between these goods. There are several goods, but in our analysis we use only two goods. We assume that the consumer purchased only two goods. The goods are good 1 and good 2. We can say that good 1 is x1 and good 2 is x2. The consumer purchased different combinations of these two goods x1 and x2. This is known as consumption bundle. Any combinations of these two goods is known as consumption bundle. When we say that the consumption bundle 5, 10, there are different combinations x1, x2. x1 is known as good 1. Good 1 is denoted by the term x1 and good 2 is denoted by the term x2. So 5, 10 means when we write a consumption bundle 5, 10, this means that the consumer purchased 5 units of x1, that is good 1, and 10 units of good 2. When we write 2, 5, that means the consumer purchased 2 units of good 1 and 5 units of good 2. These bundles, these are known as consumption bundles. Any combinations of two goods is known as a consumption bundle. Another term used in this chapter is consumer's budget. Consumer's budget means consumer's income or amount of money available to him for spending commodities or for purchasing goods and services. That is known as consumer's budget. The available income in his hands is known as consumer's budget. For example, for buying books, Sindhu had an income of rupees 100 and Bindu has an income of rupees 200. That is, Sindhu's budget is rupees 100 and Bindu's budget is rupees 200. So, we can conclude today's class that we discussed several things. First, what you mean by consumption, who is a consumer, we define rational consumer, different aspects of this theory, different types of the important 3 analysis of theory, that is cardinal approach given by Alfred Marshall and ordinal approach, that is also known as indifference curve analysis given by J.R. Hicks, and revealed preference theory of Paul Samuelson. Then we discussed about consumption bundle and consumer's budget. Okay, thank you.